Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, anyone from all over the world and all over Canada who's watching this video today. My name is Lulwa Hidiq, and I have with me here Hassan Mohamad. We're both RCICs, members of ICCRC. Hassan and I were partners in crime and immigration, but first and foremost, we're partners as husband and wife. So I really have the privilege of hosting this with my hubby, and it's your first time on this channel, Hassan. So it's going to be very fun, and hopefully we'll see you in more episodes. So do you want to say a few things, Hassan?
Yeah, hi everybody. This is Hassan. This is the first time I'm using this platform to get in touch with everybody. So this is my first time. I hope I'm gonna present you my updates. I'm not boring you with these important ones because these are affecting everybody. I need to be in touch with it and fully aware of the material as well.
Yes, thank you, Hassan. And so just as a start, if you haven't already subscribed, ensure you subscribe to myconsultant.ca to get the latest updates on what is happening in the immigration world. And I would also like to emphasize a disclaimer to ensure that you're always making sure that you're checking the relevant website with regards to any updates, because what's valid today may not be the case tomorrow. So please, today we're providing you with many updates that are effective as of now, but going forward, always make sure you're referring to the relevant Government of Canada authority, whether it's Canada.ca, CBSA, IRB, ESTC, or other for updates on changes that happen on a daily basis. So what is relevant? So today we have many updates, not just a few. And like Hassan said, we're going to try and present them in a chronological manner, in a fun manner, so that it makes sense to everyone without boring you. So we'll start with the first top two that I know a lot of people, foreigners and Canadians and permanent residents, have been looking forward to. And that is the impact of the quarantine on eligible travelers and the COPR holders. So Hassan, I'll ask you to present the updates with regards to the quarantine. What's going on there?
Okay, here we go. Now, Government of Canada came up with a new update easing the restricting measures, traveling measures. And it happens that effective July 5, 2021, after around 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, there's an update. And the update is about that the people who are travelers that they coming as fully vaccinated and they are meeting the specific requirements. They have to be like, have the right vaccine in order. And there's a number of vaccines that have been approved by the Government of Canada and not the World Health Organization, WHO. And we have, by the way, 4 vaccines that have been approved by Canada as of this today. It's Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, and Janssen. And you have to have, like any traveler coming to here, to Canada travel, is that to have this vaccination 14 days prior to entering Canada, because this is part of the requirements and all the information that you have, supposedly that you have vaccinated, that you have to upload these documents or this vaccination proof of vaccination through the Arrive Can application. Arrive, ARRIVE-CAN, Canada application. Anyone who submits a false vaccination, there's a legal consequences. It's a combination of $750,000 or 6 months imprisonment. And I don't believe anybody wants to go that way. So with that, we come to also that people who comes with their children under the age of 12 who are not vaccinated will have to quarantine at home for 14 days because this is still a requirement. What will not change is that the foreign nationals who are not eligible for entry under the current orders in council, like the ones coming from the United States, prohibition of entry into Canada from another country, any country other than the US, will continue to be denied entry to Canada. This means that fully vaccinated or not foreign nationals cannot enter for, non-essential travel, discretionary travel. You still have use a tool. There's a tool, a useful tool to find out if you can come to Canada.
Yes, thank you, Hassan. And that's on the Government of Canada website. So with all this information that's being thrown at us right, left, and center, the Government of Canada website has a tool that you can Google, and it'll tell you whether you meet the eligible requirements or not, if you're still not clear on the information. I want to also remind you that you have to have proof of vaccination, and it must be in English or French, or certified translation. Again, the website provides all the details on that in order for the CBSA officer to ensure that you're properly vaccinated. The traveler may have received their vaccine in any country, as long as it's manufactured by the list that Hassan has mentioned before, which is Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. But keep following the news, because the list of accepted vaccines may change. As of now, it's based on those approved by Government of Canada, not the World Health Organization, but things may change as we proceed. So Hassan, what will this change based on this update will impact the travelers returning to Canada?
So in other words, it's about the quarantine and the testing. So it means that people or travelers who are fully vaccinated are eligible to enter Canada, will not be anymore required to quarantine like 3 days in a hotel, and you have to also do a complete a day 8 test, because you have to stay like for 15 days, and on day 8 you have to do a test. This is like now is waived. You don't have to do that. They must still have, in case they are at the border or during the flight, something comes up like outbreak, that there's a COVID situation, you have to have a suitable quarantine plan handy-bandy, so that when you are ready, you have to, quarantine, because you have to have a quarantine plan in place, And any person who has vaccinated traveler tested positive or being exposed to someone also have to follow the local public health authorities and requirements, including the quarantine plan or the isolation matter. Now, fully vaccinated air travelers, they are eligible to enter Canada, will not be required to quarantine and stay at a government authorized hotel while they wait their arrival test result if they meet all of the required criteria. Fully vaccinated travelers. Okay. So in other words, it says that if you are meeting all the requirements and you are tested negative, you don't have to quarantine in a hotel, and you pay the hotel arrangement accommodation.
And this also applies for those under 18. They are
yes,
exempt
even like children who are accompanying these travelers under 18, they are not authorized to stay at a hotel or quarantine during their stay. They don't have to do that. They have to be exempted from the quarantine. These are the changes that were affected by the new update from Government of Canada.
Yeah, and it was a very expensive entry for
you have to pay a lot.
Yeah. However, it was all for public health measures, and the government had to do what they had to do. So this is really welcome news for a lot of people, and it's great in time for the summer, and everything's opening up here, even in Ontario. So hopefully we go back to some level of normalcy. But at the end of the day, the pandemic is still there, so we have to also be mindful of that. But I would also, with all these changes, remind that what will not change, among others, is the pre and on-arrival testing. This hasn't changed, whether by air or land. All travelers entering Canada by air and land, unless exempt, must submit their information into this app that Hassan mentioned, the Arrive Can, within 72 hours before arrival to Canada. With a reminder that foreign nationals, including US citizens, coming to Canada for non-essential reasons will be turned away at the border. So the ultimate say is the CBSA officer at the border, who has the right to question and determine whether the people entering, whether foreign nationals or even, permanent residents have the right to enter, but under certain considerations regarding admissibility. We're not going to go into that for now, but it's a CBSA officer whose ultimate say whether the travel is for essential or non-essential reasons. Now, with regards to this, any other information, Hassan, with regards to the requirements for this update?
Yeah, definitely. this is like a fluid situation. COVID-19 is still here with us, and until it is behind us, we have to be mindful that we always like to be check out the requirements and make sure that you are on the right, checking the right government website, or you discuss your issue or the matter with a qualified, authorized person that he can give you a piece of advice that is reliable and relevant to the situation.
Exactly. And just a reminder, because as we know, everyone's very excited to come back. Until July 5, 2021, 11:59 Eastern time.
Daytime, Eastern Daylight Time, or Eastern Standard Time. They are interchangeable, but they said EDT, which is Eastern Daylight Time.
So no exemptions for vaccinated travelers. So hold your horses, wait for the right time.
Yep.
So now and there will be no exemptions for partially vaccinated travelers.
No.
At this time, no exemptions from testing, hotel stopover, or quarantine for travelers who haven't received the full series of a vaccine or a combination of vaccines accepted by the government of Canada. So I'm sorry for everyone who got different vaccines. The measures still apply to you.
I have one relative who has got another vaccine, but he has to go like through the whole thing, He's not accepted by government of Canada, so he has to quarantine and make sure that he has a quarantine plan in place, upon arrival. And he's coming by the end of this month, anyway.
Yeah, we're excited to see them, but unfortunately, it doesn't apply to them. So,
yep.
Now, another fun update, which applies basically as of June 21, and this is welcome news to a lot of our clients, all our clients basically, who've received their COPRs after March 18. So, as we know, as of March 18, the government of Canada issued a policy basically not allowing those who received the COPRs post March 18 from landing in Canada. And that created a lot of confusion and, frustration, and understandable. But again, the government had to do what they had to do. As of June 21, all valid confirmation of PR holders can now complete their landings and become Canadian immigrants. So we're expecting around 23,000 COPR holders to be re-entering Canada this summer. But please note, for those whose COPRs have expired, the confirmation of permanent resident, if that document has expired and was issued after March 18, 2020, you will have to follow up the news that will be released by the Government of Canada with regards to the process. So IRCC from day one has said, we understand that your document may expire in the process. Just be patient, and they will issue a new one. So those whose confirmation of PRs has expired should not book flights or attempt to travel to Canada, because they will not be allowed to board the plane until they receive a new document from IRCC. So, just be patient. Things are easing up, and hopefully you'll be able to come to Canada soon. But this is great news for those whose documents are valid. So if they travel today, basically before July 5, the quarantine measures apply to them. But if they come after July 5, the quarantine measures don't apply to them. So, they have to balance and see what works for them and how soon they'd like to come here versus wait a bit more.
Well, if I may interrupt, if I'm a COPR holder, I want to come to Canada. I've been waiting all these years, all these periods, in suspense, not knowing when I'm gonna come in. I will sacrifice my money and be in Canada before the deadline.
I hear you.
I'm ready to do that.
I hear you. Yeah. So welcome home to all those new COPR holders, and good luck on your new life in this amazing country called Canada. In my opinion, it's the best in the world.
Exactly.
So Hassan, this aside, we have further information and further updates with regards to...
Oh, yeah. This is more interesting for me.
Yeah.
I know it's... anybody heard about a country called Andorra? A-N-D-O-R-R-A. Andorra. Guess what? This is a country, smallest country in the world. No, it's not the smallest. No, it is one of the 16th smallest country in the world by land, and 11th country, smallest 11th country by population.
Wow.
And guess what? It's in Europe. It's not in the Far East or in the Middle East or somewhere. It's like between the border between France to the north and Spain to the south. And it is 40 kilometers from one side to the other side.
Only? Wow.
Only. So it is like if you are driving at 60 kilometers per hour, you have it like, in less than an hour, 20 minutes. I know.
Across the border, unless there's mountains and hillsides.
They are, by the way, but it depends on the traffic light, and the flow of traffic over there. So this falls under the international experience class and international experience class, yeah. And Canada has signed this agreement with this country just like 5 days ago, June 21, 2021. And there's only one category. It's called Working Holiday Program. It's under Working Holiday category. They have only one. Some countries, they have others. They have three, up to three. And yeah, like any citizen can come and, he come to Canada and work under this program for 1 year, under 12-month period, under open work permit. And the age eligibility is like between 18 to 30 years old. Yeah, 30 years old.
Interesting.
18 to 30 years old, yeah.
So for citizens of this country, they have to follow the same procedure as the IEC program. They have to register online, enter the pool of candidates, and then once they get an ITA, then they can apply for this, meeting the program requirements. But this is very interesting to know that more and more countries are added. I'd be interested to see the quota for this country, but in any case, they have to create a profile once it's open, which I do believe it is open, but they have to keep checking. And good luck if you are from Andorra and wanting to come to Canada for an open work permit. That's great news, Hassan.
Yep, it's good.
Yeah, and we have another interesting extension basically for public policy. So foreign nationals who are physically in Canada with temporary resident status but have received a positive decision letter, a letter of introduction, on their study or work permit application processed outside of Canada may request examination and document issued required by Section 11 of IRPA from within Canada. They can do this by using the web form. So once they have it, they upload the documents to the web form. And basically this eliminates the need for them to flagpole, because normally applicants for an initial study permit or work permit, if they're visitors in Canada, they can only receive it from outside Canada. So if they're physically in the country, they'd have to leave and come back, and we usually call this flagpoling. But because of COVID, CBSA has halted all this measures, so that's created kind of a havoc for a long time. And this temporary measure is really a great way of ensuring public health and safety of everyone, plus facilitating the process for either students or workers whose employers need them to work sooner than later. So basically, the process has been developed to conduct the examination and to issue these documents required under Section 11 through the web form. This pilot process is extended from March 31, 2021 to August 31, 2021, which is, again, period by period. We don't know if it's going to be extended. It all depends on what happens with the pandemic. And our final update, which is an interesting decision from the federal court that affirms that in a residency obligation appeal, the 5-year date for determining the residency obligation is the date of permanent resident travel document application for someone who is outside Canada, and the date of the A44 admissibility report for someone from inside. The case is Metallo versus CIC. You can look it up on Canley or the legislative website. And really why this decision is critical, because the court exercised discretion to consider the applicable 5-year period, and because the extent of a non-compliance with the residency obligation is a material factor in assessing whether agency, humanitarian, and compassionate considerations justify the retention of permanent resident status. So because of the significant weight on the non-compliance, the degree of non-compliance, a detailed discussion or consideration was made, sorry, in this decision. In previous cases, the thing is, what the court looked at is that the prior application of the extent of non-compliance and the qualifying period was, there seemed to be a discrepancy in this situation. So the IED in a case called Rescue contrasted the situation of those applying from within Canada with that of someone applying for a PR travel document overseas. And if you're interested in looking at this case, RASTGOU, R-A-S-T-G-O-U, paragraph 17 to 19, in such cases, the compliance with the residency obligation was assessed based on the 5-year period preceding the application. Quoting overseas processing manual OP10 with regards to permanent residency status determination. So using the date of application on an applicant is outside Canada prevents them from being disadvantaged by any delay in the assessment of the application, so it's trying to be more fair and reasonable to the applicant. In a case called Huang, H-U-A-N-G versus CIC, the period examined was also 5 years prior to the determination rather than the 5 years prior to the applicant's application for a PR travel document. So in this case, in Huang, and I quote the case, while RASTGOU and the other cases referred to above may not be enough to constitute established internal authority, they include considered opinions of IAD members on the precise issue and appear to reflect at least a long-standing practice regarding some justification for departure, Vavilov paragraph 131. So, the interesting thing is, in this case, Justice McAfee stated, and I quote their comments, in my view, the unexplained departure from the IED's prior approach to the determination of the relevant 5-year period is unreasonable, even though the lack of explanation likely stems from the parties not having identified the issue, and that is addressed in the case. It's an interesting read, so I would really recommend anyone dealing with these cases or the IRB to look into this, or dealing with travel documents for clients from overseas, because it really brings forward important issues to consider when applying such an application. Again, we go back, the extent of non-compliance with residency obligation is a material factor in assessing whether agency considerations justify the retention of PR status. And in this case, Metallo versus CIC, the minister, I quote paragraph 28, the minister argues the difference in the extent of the shortfall from 40% to 18% was not enough to change the outcome, and contrasts it with the 10% non-compliance that the IAD has found to be a not significant breach. So, it's interesting, this comparison. So while Justice McAfee thus acknowledges that she was thus unable to conclude that the difference in the extent of the shortfall between the 5 years in Mr. Metallo's case would not have affected the IAD's consideration of the agency factor, and thus set the IAD decision aside to be redetermined by a different IAD member, it really brings forward the emphasis on the date, the qualifying period that an officer, or at least in the IAD, the qualifying period has to be considered under. A very interesting read, Metallo versus CIC, M-E-T-A-L-L-O, for those dealing with residency obligation. And in our practice, we're dealing with a lot of people who really want to come back and have not met residency requirements. So this kind of is interesting to read. So I don't have anything further from my end, Hassan. Do you have anything further to add or to
this Metallo case? When is that? Is this a new release, new case?
Yes, it's released June 21, I believe, 2021.
Okay,
so
good.
It's very recent, yeah, and
yeah, 5 days ago, almost.
Exactly, yeah. So it really talks about the 5-year date for residency obligation is the date of PRTD application for someone from outside, and the Section 44 report for someone inside.
Inside the country.
So it just provides a bit more clarity, because it seems that the IAD had deviated from the norm that they've been proceeding with.
Yep. And as you mentioned, it's a fair side, that fair treatment for the one overseas versus the one who's inside. Outlanders versus inlanders, inside Canada.
Yes, and that's the beauty of the common law, where cases evolve as we speak, and nothing is fixed in stone. And just dealing with case precedent is very important. And for us as advocates, when we're representing our clients, whether for an application at a visa office or at the IAD, it's important to arm ourselves with all these precedents. This is how we become stronger advocates for our clients and have a stronger reputation and really raise the bar of our profession. So, if you're a geek or a nerd like I am, who loves to read these cases, it's a story. Every case is a story. So it's important to go through that.
It's about the human being at the end of the day, it's not a story, just a story, a fiction story. It's human being, human lives, human destiny as well.
Exactly. And their life changes all around when decisions are made, and our job is to really fight for them and advocate for them within the realms of the law. So, yeah. And speaking of which, I'd like to remind everyone watching this, if you are going to be hiring an authorized representative for your case, just make sure that they're licensed. There's a lot of people who may allege to be lawyers or consultants or authorized or whatever. Just ask them, show me that you're authorized. If it's a consultant, it has to be through the ICCRC website. Their name has to be there in good standing. And if it's a lawyer, they have to be a member of a provincial law society or a Quebec notary. So do your due diligence. Don't be scammed by people who allege they are not who they are, because it's your life and it's your future. And you need to put this in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing. And even when you do hire an authorized rep, also do your due diligence and search their credibility and their history and ask the right questions. It's your application, so no one else can do this for you. You have to do it for yourself. And as we raise public awareness, hopefully more and more people truly understand that, there's a liability towards this. Right, Hassan?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it, really.
And anything else you want to remind our members, our viewers, sorry?
Yeah, I want to remind everybody that if they are interested in watching any news update regarding immigration, that to subscribe to my consultant YouTube channel all the time. It's really, really keeping you updated with all the information that's happening on day-to-day basis. It's like it's happening every day, and every day there's coming in new updates. So you should be aware of it, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And thank you, Hassan, for being my partner in this video today. I enjoyed sharing the news with you, and hopefully I think we're the first married couple, RCICs, doing such a broadcast on my consultant. And hopefully it'll be an opening for further couples. We've had brother and sister before, but never husband and wife. So thank you for joining us.
We are in the history now, right?
Of course, we're always.
Yeah, since day one, since I met you.
Thank you, Hassan, and thank you for watching this update. And we'll keep you updated going forward. Just subscribe to the channel and have a great day, evening, weekend, whatever it is. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.